Today on the RepubliKen Talk Show, we're going to be talking about a TikToker who has made a career on committing crimes. We're going to be talking about the Bikini Barista video. And we are going to be talking about the Chicago mayor's haircut expenses. And more on this episode of RepubliKen Talks. Welcome to the RepubliKen Talk Show, everybody. I am your host, Kenneth Glenn, and today we got a good show for you. So, there's a TikToker out here named Wolfie Coletti, and I'm going to be proud to announce that he is going to be the next episode of Judged. So, if you know, I have a YouTube channel series on my channel where I judge people for crimes that they've committed. I made one episode already on Riley Reynolds? Nope. Can't think of her name. Reynolds. That Reynolds chick. I made that video. And now my next episode is going to be based on him. So Wolfie here has made a huge TikTok following, basically literally committing crimes. So he literally goes into different restaurants and is an absolute menace. He throws cakes at people, steals stuff, damages property. And I'm going to be talking to you about that right now. So, we're going to play the first clip for you right now.
Tacos at the egg roll. Hey!
So, yeah, look at that. He literally dumps an entire bag of ice in the deep fryer. So, for those of you who don't know, water and oil do not mix well. They don't mix at all. Okay? However, if you were to mix hot oil with water, whether or not it's frozen, the frozen water part's not even the problem here. It's just water in general. If you were to mix water and oil together, it's like putting vinegar and baking. It's like putting baking soda and vinegar together. It just expands. And he put a crap ton of ice in that. Not only is that extremely dangerous, that's extremely dangerous because the oil's hot and you're expanding this hot liquid across the entire restaurant. I don't know if you've ever seen videos on it, but when oil like that expands and it literally gets all over the place. Like everyone's getting hit with that. It's super dangerous to do that. And he put a whole entire bag of ice. The videos that I'm talking about where the grease expands all over the place, that's just like a cup of ice. That's if you use like one little cup of ice. You pour it in there, put it in, it expands really much. He had a whole bag of ice that you buy at the store and dumped it in there. And just ran off like a punk. I cannot wait to judge this guy on my next episode of Judged. But yeah, that's extremely dangerous. So, yeah, not only could that have caught the whole building on fire, but that could have just been a terrible situation. That could have gone a lot worse than it did. That could have killed people. That could have, and I'm not joking, like that could have actually killed somebody if it went wrong. People need to stop doing crap on TikTok for clout. TikTok just needs to get banned for real. I know everyone's like, oh, but freedom and whatever. No, TikTok is dumb. That should be banned. Don't really care about the whole freedom argument there. Now I'm going to play the second clip for you today.
I'm so sorry for scaring you.
Let them have
So, yeah, he steals a taco from somebody just standing there. I don't really understand the thought process here. His whole thought process is literally just, I am a menace. Look at me. Look how funny I am. I'm just a menace. And it's stupid. His whole show is stupid. His TikToks are dumb. And, you know, if these were different times, that would have gone a lot differently. And it really should have gone differently. It really should. We should really punish people for these. Not only legally, but like on the street. Like, it should just be legal to violently assault people who do stupid stuff like this. Oh, you want to threaten my wife? Okay, you're in the hospital now for the frickin' next year because I messed you up. Oh, you want to mess with my food? Okay, you're going to get beat. Like, that should be legal, but it's not. Because we have a country that's ran by gay guys. All bunch of wimpy gay guys run this country, making it so violence isn't legal anymore. Get the frick out of here. I hate that. Violence should be allowed. In all, okay? And violence is just necessary. Because if we're allowed to commit violence on people who do stuff like this, like if that dude turned around when he did that and punched him in the eye socket and just wailed on him on the ground, punched him 9 or 10 times, put him in the hospital for like 4 months, he would have learned his lesson. It probably would have caught, well, let's be real, the justice system wouldn't have charged him anyway. So it wouldn't have charged anything on the justice system side. But they should just be allowed to do that. Because if you were allowed to literally hospitalize somebody for screwing with you, and it was perfectly legal, then it would prevent people from screwing with people, because there's a risk now. The reason why pranksters do stuff like this is because they can get away with it, not only physically, but legally. Oh, it's just freedom of speech, man. Oh, it's just, oh, yeah, prank, bro. You can't hurt me. It should be legal. Threats towards you, physical stuff, people pranking you like that, physical violence should be allowed. So stupid. Alright, I'm going to play the third clip for you guys now.
You guys have a bathroom?
Bathroom 7287.
What can I get for you? On a burrito? I got you.
This one's probably one of the... This is a more lenient thing, but still pretty terrible. This guy's literally breaking and entering. This guy's literally going in, breaking and entering, and just harassing the workers and vandalism. That's another thing. That's another big thing of his. It's vandalism. He likes to vandalize people's stuff for some reason, which is just stupid. And he was taking people's orders and stuff. This guy should just get arrested. I don't know how he hasn't gotten arrested yet. Well, I know how he hasn't gotten arrested yet. Because he didn't put skid marks on LGBTQ flag. Now, if he were to do that, time out. You're going right to prison. Straight to prison. But you do actual crimes. Like rob a store, harass people, hit people, beat up people. Perfectly legal. Now, I'm going to show you the one more clip of his, which is probably just... This is so stupid. He takes a cake and throws it at a couple. And I'm going to play that clip for you right now. Why was that necessary? Why did you have to, like, chuck the cake at the couple just sitting there? It's just obnoxious. This guy is just so obnoxious. This guy, I really hope he does it to the wrong person. Like, you know how that one prankster got shot? Like, it would be super sad if he got shot and killed. But you can't say it wouldn't be justified. Like, people need to actually learn lessons for what they do. People need to actually take accountability for their actions. Alright, now moving on to the second thing of the show. So, some dude went to a Bikini Barista, which I guess is a thing. I don't know, I had parents that loved me growing up, so I don't really know much about a Bikini Barista. Or Barista? Is it Barista or Barista? I think it's Barista. Anyway, so there was a fight at one of them. This man was complaining because the coffee costed him like $22 or something like that. He got coffee and a cup of water and it costed him like $22, which, yeah, is a lot. And he got mad and then threw the coffee at the worker, who was a woman. And then that woman was not taking no crap. She takes a hammer and bashes the window of the man. We'll play that clip on the show for you guys right now.
Take this, keep the 15, give me 5. Thank you. Put it back wherever it was. I don't know, it's not killing me. You can come out, you can touch me, you can do whatever. Touch me in the stomach, I'm dead on the spot. I don't care. Nobody's gonna make me a fool. I can.
If you don't eat, I'm going to throw this on you.
Huh?
You want me to throw this on you? You want me to?
Pushing it.
You are pushing it. Get in your fucking car, take your coffee, and leave.
Give me this. Give me this. I will take it.
You want
Give the money. Give the money. Give the money. Give me the water. No piece of shit.
dumb fucking bitch.
So yeah, when I first saw that clip, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, what is going on here? And then it ended up being it just ended up being a bunch of crap. This guy's complaining about garbage and then harasses the worker, assaults her, and then she took no crap and did it back. So this is an article from the New York Post, I'm pretty sure. Says a bikini-clad barista smashed a man's car windshield amid a fight over the cost of a $22 coffee. So that's wrong. It was a coffee and a cup of water. It was both of them together. He got a 32-ounce cup of coffee, which is too much coffee, and he got a cup of water, which was like 20 ounces maybe. So it was two things. It wasn't just the coffee. Anyway, and online admirers are cheering her on. Yeah, as they should. So, Emily, who is 23 years old, which that's sad to me. So, the Bikini Barista is where these girls dress up in provocative clothing. They dress up, as you could imagine, in bikinis. And they serve coffee, and it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like a Hooters type thing, but for coffee. And it's sad that a 23-year-old girl's working there. Like, that is, in my opinion, that is just terrible. But anyway, she's an adult, she can make her choices. So, Emily was captured on surveillance footage pulling on a hammer during a dispute, which took place at a drive-thru coffee shop, Taste of Heaven Espresso. Not a fan of that name. In South Seattle. She told the local news outlet that she only damaged the customer's car after he exited the vehicle, approached the drive-thru window, and threw iced coffee at her, which is assault. She also alleged that the man threatened her by saying, "No one will miss you." It was a threat after screaming, spitting, and trying to pry the window, which is terrifying. The young woman, business owner, told Fox. Okay, so she's the business owner. See, I didn't know that much. I just thought she was one of the workers there. I feel like that just makes it funnier, that she's the owner. So she says, quote, I felt in danger. Lee told the outlet that the customer ordered a 32-ounce cup of coffee and a cup of water. Told you. Man. So she ordered the 32-ounce cup of coffee and a 24-ounce cup of water, totaling about $22. See? Told you. It's $22 for both. It wasn't just the coffee. The news report was wrong. I was right. Moving on. She said that the man was a repeat patron at the business and had previously complained about the high prices of his orders. First of all, I don't understand why people complain about high prices of orders. Okay? Like, dude, you're buying coffee. You know how easy it is to make coffee at home? It's not like you're getting some, like, expensive steak or some lasagna casserole thing. It's coffee. You literally, like, all you have to do is walk over to your coffee maker and you pour water in it. And then you put coffee seeds in it. And you just make it. It's not that difficult. Why are you complaining? You could just make coffee yourself. Why are you complaining? It's so stupid, honestly. First time I had gone off set to my show. She said to the man, so no one is forcing you to come here, she allegedly told him. The argument that he didn't know or was screamed doesn't hold up. The barista maintained. The prices are listed, which, that's another thing. The prices are listed. You can literally see the price before you buy a product. That's what makes this whole thing so dumb. Why are you complaining about the price? Just either don't buy it, or you know what the price is. Why are you complaining? Lee called the cops and filed a misdemeanor assault charge against the customer. Fox 13 reports, however, that the man could take her to small claims court for the cost of his windshield. So she could take the customer to court. Lee said that she isn't worried about... Hey, so I wanted to come up here and correct myself real quick. The guy could sue her. She couldn't sue the guy. I don't know why I misread that, but I just wanted to come on and correct myself real quick. Being brought before a judge. And she says she doesn't believe she should be threatened differently to any other barista. Simply, why isn't it going down? Well, I'm having problems here. Having problems in the live show, everybody. Hold on. Alright, we're back. So, she said that she shouldn't be treated any differently than any other barista simply because she serves coffee wearing skimpy swimwear. Why should this kind of interaction be expected because of this environment? It's disgusting, Lee said. It's okay for him to be outraged, but it's not appropriate for me to respond, ? On Instagram, Lee shared some surveillance footage showing the dispute. Several viewers chimed in saying that she was justified after the customer's car, hitting the customer's car with a hammer. I show this to my kids. If they react like this, less men should think it is okay to talk to us like this. One admirer wrote. So one of the people in the comments wrote that. So she said that she showed it to her kids. And then he would never have done this to a man. That's true. He's a coward. Usually guys who go after women, threaten women, attack women, go after women verbally, usually are not the kind of guys that are like the usual tough guys that will go after a guy like that. Most guys who do that, usually gay, wimpy guys. The same guys who would run the country, typically. What did you do to deserve that ? What did any of us do? You existed. You are a GD national treasure. That's another comment from her thing. The hammer to the windshield was extremely satisfying. Another person cheered. And then she made an Instagram post about it. I'm not going to read the whole Instagram post, but you can look at it. Her Instagram is... Let me find it real quick. I'm having more problems with this thing. There we go. So her Instagram is Emma Lee, so you can look it up if you guys want to. All right, now moving on. So Biden built a dock in Gaza. This is so that people in Gaza can get food. Because as we all know, Islamic countries don't like taking care of its people unless they can do it through slavery, which is what they did in Dubai. And that's why Dubai is a terrible, crap-hole country that no one should ever visit nor celebrate. So this is the article here. It says, a U.S.-made pier built to bring food to Gaza is now facing one of its most significant challenges. Humanitarian partners are having to decide whether or not it is safe to keep delivering supplies by sea to starving Palestinians, according to the press. You know, because Palestine can't take care of its own people because it's a garbage country. The pier, a $230 million project, was announced by Joe Biden in March. You know, right around the time, I don't even know if that was around the time. Remember Hawaii? All those people who were suffering in Hawaii because of the fires and all that? They don't get any money. Or they do, they get like pocket change. But Gaza, you know, the terrorist people, to help the terrorist country out, we're gonna build a dock so we can feed them. Because their government can't take care of their people. Why are we paying for this? Why is our country responsible for paying for other crappy government's problems? Why is it our responsibility? Like, I get it. It's sad. I've seen the videos of the kids starving. I know. I get it. It's sad. I don't like it. But it's also not our responsibility. It's not America's responsibility to help other countries. Okay? Sometimes you just got to go, well, that's your crappy leadership. If you don't like it, you got to get a different leader. That's what we got to encourage other countries to do. Palestinians are celebrating their leaders, but they're starving. Like, does anyone else not see what's wrong with Palestinian people? They're like, oh, our leadership's so great. Go Hamas. But you're starving to death because the same people that you're praising are the same people not taking care of you. So the pier is intended to be an alternative route to bring aid to Gaza amidst the ongoing blockade and conflict with Israel. So, you know, if there wasn't a conflict, they would have no problem bringing Palestinians food. But since Hamas attacked Israel first and started this unnecessary war, they can't do it anymore. So, here's my opinion. Here's my idea. Don't give them food. I know it's sad, but this is their fault. And you might be like, oh, but Palestine probably doesn't... The Palestinians don't even like... No, they support Hamas. They 100% do. This is their fault. They should have to live with it. It's sad, but it's true. Okay? Live with it. You made your bed. Sleep in it. You support Hamas, you like what they're doing, you're not going to get our food. Because we're not going to die getting hit by a missile just to feed you guys. It was faced with numerous obstacles, including storm damage, security concerns, leading to intermediate suspensions of operations. The U.S. military is said to be considering dismantling the humanitarian pier off the coast of Gaza for the second time in weeks due to the rough sea conditions in the eastern Mediterranean. So, $200 and something million to some garbage bridge that doesn't work. It's not even a bridge, it's a pier. But it doesn't work. That's kind of sad if you think about it. Anyway, the UN Food World or the World Food Program halted its use of the pier following an Israeli raid on June 8th that killed over 270 Palestinians. I hate that right there, 270 Palestinians. Because the people there, the Palestinians, were keeping the hostages hostage. And they weren't all Palestinians. They were, yes, they're all Palestinians, of course. But they weren't just Palestinian civilians. They were people who are working with Hamas. Okay? This is all garbage. Everyone's like, has sympathy for this. Now, if you just want the war to end, I get that, yeah. The war should end. But I don't feel bad for the Palestinian people because they asked for this. They want this. They're cheering this on, the most of them at least. And they're the ones helping Hamas. Because the people taking hostages are the civilians. The hostages were found in civilian housing. The civilian houses. The civilians were the ones taking the hostages. So, yeah. They weren't Palestinians. They were working with Hamas. They're all terrorists. Sorry. So it killed over 270 Palestinians and raised questions about the pier's neutral. It's neutral and safety. I'm not going to be able to say that word. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to say that. I have a speech impediment, so it's hard to say certain words. The operation to rescue the hostages involved the use of the area near the pier, although both the U.S. and Israeli militaries deny the pier itself was used in the raid. The incident promoted the UN to suspend the cooperation pending security review. Yeah, maybe it's not smart to send civilians into war zones and help bring out food. Maybe, just maybe, that's not a smart thing to do. If you want, what you could do is you could have, helicopters and planes drop off food. Take a care package, you take like a box with a parachute on it, you push out a plane, and then you have all the food that you need in there, and you could just have them use that. I don't know why it's so hard to have that. It would have been cheaper than Biden paying $200-something million for some stupid dock. That event cast doubt for humanitarian groups about whether aid workers can cooperate with the U.S. military-backed Israeli military-secured project without violating humanitarian principles and I'm not going to say that again. Principles of neutral and independence. It's the word neutral with a Y at the end. I can't say it for some reason. There are also concerns about aid workers being seen as U.S.-Israeli allies and then being targets. So they're worried that they might be considered targets, which, yeah, you're in a terrorist war zone. They don't really care who they kill. They're just bad people. Reporters, the UN humanitarian chief Martin Griffith empathized with the importance of assessing the situation thoroughly. You can be D-word sure we are going to be very careful about what we assess and what we conclude, he told AP. Why is it not working? All right. Last show of the day. Last thing of the day. So, the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, he has recently come out of how much money he spends on haircuts. He spends a crap ton of money on haircuts in the last year. He spent $30,000 on haircuts. But that's not the problem. The problem here is he's using campaign funds to do it. That's the real problem here. Because as we all know, Trump was charged with 34 felony accounts for using campaign funds for hush money purposes, which is illegal, I guess. Whatever. But somehow this isn't illegal. And then the justifications for this is so stupid. So let's get into it. So this has gone so viral that multiple news organizations have posted about it. The Chicago Sun wrote about it. Their headline said that Mayor Brandon Johnson sure looks good while running away from questions. And I don't really understand why they're saying he looks good. He looks more like The Miz from 2006. But whatever. And Lori Leftfoot. I call her Leftfoot. No, her name's Lori Lightfoot. So she also had a similar controversy, but it was when she got a haircut during COVID. Because you remember she was like telling everybody that they need to stay home, wear a mask, you couldn't go out for COVID. Because COVID's super dangerous, terrible, bad thing that everyone's going to get, and it's going to kill every single person on the planet. Remember that? So they weren't allowed to get their haircuts, but then she went out to a barbershop and got her haircut because, you know, it's okay if I do it. We are going to convict everybody of crimes except for the ones that I commit. So, questions have arisen over the Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson using campaign funds to pay for hair and makeup expenses, both himself and for others connected to his campaign. So not only is he paying for haircuts for himself, he's paying for others to get haircuts. Remember, very clear. Remember that for later, that he's paying for other people's haircuts, because it's going to be very important for what a lawyer said later on in this article. The Chicago Sun-Times first reported that Johnson's campaign had spent more than $30,000 on such services over a 15-month span. So they're paying about $2,000 a month on haircuts, which is ridiculous, and it's going to get even funnier when we later see what he said, because he actually made a statement about this. So, the Illinois election law does not specifically mention hair and makeup expenses as valid campaign expenditures. So depending on whom you ask, there is a disagreement whether this practice is legal. This is what I hate about law. The law is too vague. There's too many loopholes and if, ands, or buts and stuff. It's not, the law is just not clear. See, the law should just say you have to spend your money on campaign-related things. If you have a campaign fund, you can only spend on campaign stuff that has to do with your campaign. So that's like traveling to a press conference. It's traveling to a speech. That is a campaign fund expense. Not getting a haircut. You could pay a haircut out of your pocket. So Johnson's campaign is not the first to use funds in this way, but questions arose after funds were also provided to services to others. And then this is a quote. I would be hard-pressed to say grooming is a part of your government function, an election lawyer, Bert Olson, told NBC Chicago, that's not a function of the government to look good. So it should be legal. Michael Dorf, another election attorney, says that the law doesn't explicitly prohibit the use of campaign funds for grooming expenses, which would likely work in Johnson's favor of an argument. You know what else isn't explicitly stated and explicitly prohibited in campaign funds? Ordering a hitman. There's nothing in the law that says I can't buy a hitman to assassinate my political opponent. There's nothing in that law that says that. So technically, according to what this lawyer is saying, I can order a hitman with my campaign funds to assassinate my political opponent. That is what he just said, ladies and gentlemen. So technically, when you run for office, you are allowed, at least in Illinois, you are allowed to order a hitman to assassinate your political opponent. So keep that in mind. If you're running for Chicago office, you can order a hitman to assassinate your political opponent. Because that's what the lawyer said. Because the law is so vague that there is no law. Instead of running a world and writing laws where they just make sense, we make them vague, where even lawyers argue over what is and what isn't legal. See, this is why laws don't make sense. Because not even the people who mastered the law know what the law even is. Not even they do. How can we have a world where not even the lawyers know what's going on? How are we supposed to follow the laws when the people who mastered the law and study the law for their jobs can't even give you a clear answer? The answer is you can't. Which is why we need to overturn the justice system. We need to fix it completely. Anyway. So this is another quote. It says, I think the key is the law doesn't prohibit the expenditures from grooming expenses, he said. It's absolutely clear that how you look is at least as important as what you say in a political situation. So, this guy, so basically what we've collected here is that this lawyer is probably gay. Because he's like, oh, how you look's important. No one cares about how you look. Nobody. Clearly, Lori Lightfoot was literally your mayor. Do you really think looks matter when she's a freak? If looks mattered, how did she get hired? How did she get voted for? But the other thing is, so he literally says, as least as important. So it's at least as important as what you say. So at the least, it's just as important. So what he's saying here, what this lawyer is saying here, is that it is more important that you look good than you have good policies as a political candidate. That is what this lawyer has just said. Ridiculous, I know. That's just completely ridiculous. Now I'm going to play the clip for you guys here. This is what the governor himself, this is what Brandon said himself.
Let me ask you another question. There will be the awkward elephant in the room, and that is about the Sun-Times story last week about your spending of $30,000 from your campaign fund for hair and makeup. Can you respond to that and explain why you think that's an appropriate use of the campaign dollars to what to many people seems like a lot of money?
I think it's always appropriate to make sure that we're investing in small businesses, especially minority-owned, black-owned, women-owned businesses. Our campaign spends money on food. We support black and brown-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, printing. There are a number of things that my campaign spends dollars on. And I'm so committed to supporting small businesses that even as mayor, just made another announcement of another $35 million available for small businesses. That's important to people, that we lift up small businesses that, in particular, that don't always get the attention and support that they deserve. And so we're going to continue to do that as a city, and we'll make sure that, I encourage all of you in this room, support small businesses.
So, yeah, the weird thing I find about this case, about what he said there, is that he's like, oh, I did it for black businesses. I did it for the low income, the small businesses. I'm doing this thing for the small businesses. He didn't mention anything about it being legal, which is odd. If there's nothing wrong with it, you would have just outlandishly said, no, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see the issue with it. But it is completely illegal. And that's why he can't say that's not illegal. You see, what he should have actually said, he said, hey, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. There's nothing against what I'm doing. It's not illegal. That's what he should have actually said. That should have been his one and only thing he said, but he didn't. Then he goes on and goes, oh, I did it for the small businesses. I'm doing it to help the small businesses, which sounds really good on paper, right? But is he really helping the small black businesses? He's helping the small female business. Let me ask you something. What small business is charging you $30,000 a year for haircuts? Like, the most I've ever spent on a haircut's $40 at most. That's the most I've ever spent. And I had long hair, and I should cut it down short. I had so yeah, I can understand why that haircut was $40. You're spending $3,000? What are you getting, a haircut every day? I don't even think that adds up. I don't even think if you were to get a haircut every single day, you'd get $30,000. You gotta understand, $30,000 in a year is what the average income is. Most people make $30,000 a year working. That's like $15 an hour. Not, I don't think it's $15 an hour. I think it's like $18 an hour for a year. So you work 8 hours a week for $18 an hour. You work 40 hours a week, $18 an hour for 52 weeks. That's $30,000. So this dude is literally getting a haircut an hour according to these numbers. Because I said like a haircut's like $20. So this dude's getting like one haircut an hour. That's the only way you could possibly get that much if you're going to small businesses. Now, here's my conspiracy theory on it. Okay, get your tinfoil hats on, guys. He's not going to small businesses. There's no way. He's getting his haircuts at high-end, fancy-dancy haircut salons. The high-class ones, the ones that you pay thousands of dollars for haircuts. That's the only way you can be spending that much. There's no way you're spending that much just getting your haircut at, like, Joe's cutting crew. Like, there's no way you're spending that much. No, you're going to high-class, high-end places. And if this guy really cared about the low-end black businesses, you would think he would have mentioned the business by name that he went to get his haircut. If he really cared so much about the black businesses, he would have named it. If he cared so much, why didn't he name the business that he went to get his haircut at? Because if he did, people would have found out that it wasn't a low-income small business. And if he lied and said, hey, I get my haircut here at this small business, the small business would have gone, no, you didn't. It would have made him really look bad. There's no good way for him to respond to the situation. So he had to lie his way out. So what are we getting at here? Is he going to get charged like Trump did? With 35 felony accounts, 34 felony accounts for getting haircuts, using campaign funds, using $30,000 of campaign funds, not only for himself, which the one lawyer said that looking good is just as important as what you say. So I can reasonably see the argument that it's okay for him to get a haircut, but he's paying for other people's haircuts too. Other people aren't the mayors. He's the mayor. So why is he paying for other people's haircuts? He's like talking to his cousin. Yeah, I'll get you a haircut. Come on, come with me. I got these campaign funds. I'm a Democrat. They won't charge me with a crime. So, will he get charged with a crime like Donald Trump did? No. Nope. He won't. We already know he won't. Like, if you really think he's ever going to get charged with this campaign fraud, that's not smart. You already know he's not going to. Because as we've all learned, if you are a Democrat, you can do whatever you want. Okay? You could be a felon. You could be doing corrupt business deals overseas. You could be a freaking pedophile. Doesn't matter. As long as you're a Democrat, you're fine. You're okay. It's okay. If you're a Democrat, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. But if you're a Republican, if you do anything illegal, anything you do is illegal. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of my show. I hope you liked this video. If you like the show, I want to let you know that I make shows like this every single day. So you hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications, and you can see my videos every single day. I appreciate you guys for watching all the way to the end. And let me know what you think down below. Give me your thoughts down below. Comment, like, and subscribe for more videos like this. I post every single day. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Peace.